Hello ratbags, it's Jade, what's going on? I am going to be going through the HEDGE 2.0, pretty much an updated guide to the hedge and the jungle temple. If you knew, I did a guide showcasing the broodmother, showcasing everything you need to know about this area, all the scabs, all the science points. But now it's out of date. Now we've had an update, there's lots more to be added. They've added a whole bunch more science laboratories, they've added some extra enemies, and there's lots of story elements, lots of new scabs to get, and of course to unlock a brand new technology chip, which is the Ziplines. So I'm going to take you through all of that, explain why or how they've removed the broodmother, and everything else you pretty much need to know. So a bit of a long video, there is timestamps so you can skip ahead to every single part just to make sure you've not missed something if you've already done it. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to get all the passwords, unlock a secret door, and gain access to some big room full of massive loot. Grounded, hedge and jungle temple guide, let's go. Something really important you need to know before you start going through the jungle temple, please make sure you've got the mission from Burgle, which investigates the jungle temple itself, as you can gain 6,000 science points for completing it. If it's not popping up, you're going to have to just skip past the missions or complete them and come back the next day, and it should pop up. It is random when it will pop up. Now there are two ways into this hedge. You can go through the hedge all the way through on top, or you can shimmy the up near the mushrooms where you used to go, and you can pretty much get your way into the laboratories there. But we're going to take the long route so I can show you all the new scabs, all the extra science points, and some other little small mini secret labs. So if you come over to the hedge area, we've been here before, you should pretty much know how to get here. There's a few changes, like there's a lot more of these sort of rotten leaves on the floor, and now berries explode a little bit more when you chop them open like that. There's also a mysterious green paperclip for whatever reason. Now so this is a guide about the hedge and the jungle, so some of this stuff you might already know, but the idea is that I'm giving you the heads up of everything you need to know. But before we dive deep into the hedge, just a reminder as well, since this is a hedge guide, that there is a scab on top of here still. They've not changed the location of cyberstrike, so it's still here if you want to go and get all the scabs. You may need to build yourself up a little ladder way. So let's continue our journey up the stick. You can see there we've got the green paperclip. Obviously we've got the science laboratory here. There's lots of these bars. Let's definitely take your granola with you. And there is a field station note too. You'll notice it talks about Sarah's chucking a massive flying disc, and it pretty much clattered into the laboratory. That's why parts of the laboratory are on the floor, which I'm going to show you guys as well. So as usual, just keep going up along these branches. Alongside this one, you'll find some extra science points. And then go up alongside this right hand side one. All the way along and around. And you can see we're onto the bigger, thicker branches. So you're going to do a 360 turn. There's nothing along these branches. There's no science points or anything else you really need to look for. However, there is one little group of science points, or one of them, just in these branches all the way here on the left. That's where you're going to head up towards the juice. But we're going this way today. Do a bit of a jumpy and a bit of a parkour. And I do believe it's this one. And it's the middle stick here. And you should see just on this thinnest branch ever a small amount of science points. There we go. You may need all the science points you can get, as to buy the Zipline chip it's 10,000 science points, so you still only get 6,000 if you've picked up the quest. Now let's go and get ourselves our juice. So once you've got yourself a drink, we're going to head this way. And before you zipline across, right above us there is a brand new scab. Now it's pretty difficult to get. Maybe you're better at parkour than me. You kind of want to shimmy up as much as you can, and then you've got to think about next stage to go. So I normally do it like this, and then just go. I've done my best to speed up some of the long bits where I'm just faffing around climbing, so you guys get the idea. You should be able to get up here with a bit of practice. Just make sure you got a tough just in case you do fall. So once you're up here, you should find it. It's behind this leaf. It's called witchley. Sort of mauve, bluey, purple. We're going to head straight back down to where we were. And we're going to jump onto the zip line. Now as it's going, you want to jump off onto this one right here. Pick up the tuft, and to the left there is a brand new secret laboratory. This is a new part of it. This will offer more story and some bandages. There are some tased teas in here. There's a lot more of these guys now, so you have got to be a bit more careful. Make sure you've got a weapon and some armour. There's at least 2 of them. Obviously, if you've got a mint hammer, they shouldn't be too much of a problem, but otherwise they do a lot more damage now. Good thing I've got lots of good armour on. Also helps that I am obviously playing this on mild. It's going off like crazy because there's also science points directly underneath us, I do believe, or right alongside in here. And you get to see a nice view of the backyard too. So we've got bandages, some granola, and we've got another part of the story. In this note, Wendell blames Burgle for mislaying all of the scabs. And that's it, there's nothing else here, there's no other scabs in this little area. So you go ahead and you can leave. Now if your scanner's going mad because there's some science points nearby, it should be along this red path up onto that branch there. So we'll get to it though, you're going to have to go this way. We go all the way round, and now we're starting to see a lot of the spider sacks. Now these spider sacks will contain spiderlings, but they do also contain loot sometimes. Maybe not take out these ones here, but you can see it's dropped some bug parts. We've got gnat fuzz, sometimes you find stink parts, as well as maybe some acid glands. So go along this big one here, and like I said, you don't have to open them all up, but maybe if you're trying to get one of the perks where you can get lots of kills, it might be worth taking out all of these guys. You need to go all the way up here. We're going to come back to this science laboratory in a second, because I do just want to show you how to get the rest of them science points. And there we go, just straight up all the way along this red line. Be careful you don't accidentally fall off trying to get up here, it can be a bit tough. And that's 500. I've equipped my tough now as well, so it's going to make life a lot easier, just in case we do manage to fall. So all the way back up, you don't really need to go anywhere else along these branches. You can no longer get to the bird table unless you make your own anchor point. You can see there is a scab location nearby, and we're nearly there, so we can just drop off here. We'll go inside this laboratory. And inside here is the next brand new scab. Bugjuice. Now I'm pretty sure it's new. Maybe it's just been put in a new place. Let me know guys if you've seen this in an update beforehand. There you go. Sort of lime green on a dark greyish blue background. There's more food. Obviously lots of science. And you can fill up your canteen with some water. Go ahead and scoop that up, as we're going to definitely need some soon. There's one more outpost note here. It's pretty much Wendell saying to Burgle that there's 6 new scabs gone missing. Now I don't know if I've found 6 in this update, I think I've only found 4. I actually think he means 6 scabs altogether, including the one on the electrical junction and the one on the bird bath. So you can leave here, there's not much else going on. And we're going to go onwards. Now we'll show you the bird table though, just so you know how to get across there. I do think they're going to add something new to it in the future. But for now, the only way you can get across to the bird table, unless you've built something another way, is by making your own anchor point and getting across to the zip line there. Maybe you can get across over to the leaves there and do a lot of jumping over. So for now, we've already explored the laboratory. Let's keep going past. In fact, we're going to go alongside these mushrooms here. You can see the other anchor point sitting there. But it doesn't allow you to connect to it. So you can go along and go on this one. I don't think there's too much that we're missing in terms of science points or any other scabs here. But we are going to be where the broodmother used to be. Now the broodmother's been removed. That is the big change. She will be back when she's been redesigned and to made look a bit more special and a bit different. Instead, there are lots more spiderlings. So we'll be very careful. It's like they're quite more dangerous when there's a good 2 or 3 of them. There's lots of eggs if you did want to really try clearing stuff out. But otherwise, you just want to pick up the scab, and that's the reason you want to be here. Now there are still science points below us, so you should be able to find the branch here. Drop down, and there you go, 100 science points. You can see the new can that's been added, and just down there you can see lots of the new laboratory stuff. That's where we're going to be going soon, pretty much on our way down afterwards. Now it's getting pretty dark. Before we start exploring the rest of this area on this one, I'm going to set a lean-to. So let's carry on our journey on the zipline now, all the way across. Now there are science points down below us. You can see a lot more of the laboratories and stuff, but we're not looking for that stuff just yet right now. There's some more there. Got more bandages. There's more water on the ceiling here as well if you need it. So now we've cleared this area out, we can carry on. There's no other bits in here, just them science points. Straight up top. And you can see another zip line in the distance. Now this is where it's going to start getting really, really dangerous. You can see there's lots of taste teas, and this is the main part of the brand new jungle temple. Now if your science thing's popping off, it's because it's probably on that branch up there. You can probably just about shimmy up, or we'll go back to that science point in a minute. Let's jump across, and away we go. Now it's probably best that you don't drop off. Follow exactly what this is doing, just to show you guys that we're now in the hedge lab breach. You can see the computer. If you press that, it'll open up the doors inside. And now we've got to find the 4 pieces of the password to gain access to this room right here. And that's where we're going to find the chip, the gas mask, and the next part of the story, returning power. There's another inner lab note. It pretty much tells you that Wendell has repurposed the taste teas to basically be defense units against anything else, and that the broodmother has maybe gone missing or is around here somewhere. So we've got to find the 4 pieces of the password. Now there's all different types of things that we need to also explore. I still got to show you guys the observation tower and the changes to that bird table that you can't get across to it from there. But let's try and keep it a little bit more organised so you guys don't get lost. We'll go all the way up through here, and you should be able to open up this door once you've hacked away at it with a hammer or an axe. This opens up one of the areas that you've probably explored in the past that didn't really have much in it. Now be warned, you may come across the brand new type of enemy. Now it's not really a brand new type, it is a just orb weaver, but it's got a new name. It's called Orb Weaver Jr. and they're slightly smaller, and there he is. So yeah, let's make sure we're taking him out pretty well. There we go, weren't too bad. So you can see, as long as you've got a mint hammer, you should be alright. Obviously the analyser's still here as always. And we've got the first part of the password that we need, 58. Obviously the web is a bit more stickier now as well, so you want to get rid of that. And now we're going to go on the right hand side here, as this is pretty much one of the integral pieces that we're going to need. Now that berry will knock you off, so you're going to need to get a bow or throw a rock at it. I'm going to try the rock. And there you go, just to clear the path. You can see the orb weavers there. You can go ahead and fire some arrows at it just to reduce it health a bit before you go down there. But I'm feeling brave. Let's go. Science points and take him out. And there we go. Lots of spiderlings as well though. So if you haven't got a mint mallet, you probably find this fight a little bit tough. Do note as well that I'm doing this in mild, so it's definitely going to be a lot tougher if you're doing it on one of the harder difficulties. So here's the second part of the note. Make sure you open up this doorway, as you're going to need that to get through to the other area in a second. And over in the corner here is a brand new scab. And that's ghostmint. It's pretty cool, minty and grey. You can see when we opened up that door, it finally opened up the corridor that leads down all the way into next to the bird table. And it will open up a lot more of these doorways. So there's not much here other than just going through the web sacks if you really want. You'll get plenty of silk obviously, but we're going to carry on. And now we're into the main part. This will take you all the way down to the main first entrance. There is some science points, so you might as well. And you may want to put a save point down here too. And this door always used to be locked, but now we've unlocked it. So all the way back up. And we need to get into some of these other rooms too. So we're going to go here. You can see there's a point up there which we can go. Oh, and I did manage to somehow fall through, but that's okay. Now actually, while we're here, could just show you guys, this is a way that you can get into this area without going all the way through the hedge area. Pretty much just jump up here. You'll find this door is locked, obviously, because you've not unlocked it yet. But you can sort of shimmy your way up and go through this way. Head up this branch, duck underneath it. And then there is ways into the laboratory. It's a bit more long-winded, but it will do the job. And you will find yourself a way through here. And you'll be able to do all the same stuff, like unlocking all the same things. Now we're here, we're going to get onto that one. And we're going to get the next piece of the password. Be careful for the hole. You don't want that. There's no other story items in here, so you can go ahead and just leave. And pretty much we could just drop down if you wanted to. And start again through the corridor here. All the way up again. So that's 3 pieces of the password. We just need 1 more and we're done. So we're going to go up this time. We should be able to be into one of the main areas again. Take this tase out. There will be a good few of these guys floating around. You can see this way doors are both stuck, but there is a way around that in a second. Let's go along to the left hand side and you will find some more story stuff or science points. Let's take out all these guys. There's some berry chunks here you can obviously get as well, all on the shelves here. But other than that, there's no other story bits. That is pretty much it. So now we've done that, let's go all the way through to the top. Gonna break ourselves through the web. And this is the room that you really want to come to. Look at all this loot. This is the secret loot room. Just look how much stuff's inside it, guys. Got so many clover leaves. Look how many, at least 6 there. 5, 6 there. Another 4, 5. Got all the weed stems. Got all these grass planks as well. There's just so much stuff. Obviously some rocks. This is obviously going to be pretty useful as well. Lots of plant fibre. But this is the real deal. The silk rope is probably the most valuable here. And maybe some quartzite. So what you can do is obviously go ahead and maybe chuck all this stuff on the floor down below you. And then pick it up a little while later. But not too late. Remember, stuff does start despawning. But I'm not sure if this stuff will despawn as it's already there. But yeah, there's loads of rocks, loads of quartzite, acorn bits and some sap too. Right. But right now though, we are still obviously doing our thing and getting all 4 pieces of the password. Let's drop down there. Now you're going to need to drop off before you get to the end of it. There's some science points on the left. And we're going to jump in here. And there's going to be quite a few of the enemies. Ready? Let's go. There's the 4th piece of the password. And now we can go back to that doorway. And we will be able to open it up. Another omninant log. So you can see you can open up the doorway and we're now back at this point, but we need to still make that open a bit more. If we go around the other way, it should lead us into the other laboratory area. The main point where you've got the scanner. There we go. And we should be able to go ahead and unlock this part. And that way they're all open. So now you can travel freely all through these parts, explore a little bit more, maybe come across some of the stuff you might have missed. So there we go. That is opening up all the ways. Just head yourself back to where the computer terminal was. And now we can go all the way back down and activate the next room so that we can get inside. There we go. Power grid control. Doors open. And we've got ourselves a new jungle chip. Also got a rotten gas mask. Obviously worth picking that up too. And you've got control room note. Pretty much saying thank you for leaving the gas mask there. And that they're going to be locking down this room. and also having a little bit of an Easter egg, I think, for me and some of the other content creators that were showing off all of the preview stuff like the water stuff and some of these areas before, as they're locking it down because there's been some prying eyes becoming prying fingers. Obviously make sure you press the lever, and that's going to mean that the next update you'll be ready for the next part of the story, which I'm hoping will be the water update. There's a few things still. We need to get all the science points, and we need to find that other scab. Also, I'm going to go through the observation tower, just in case you haven't seen that. That's it, and back on. Actually, if we follow this upwards now, all the way here, you can see that the bird table, you can no longer get to the bird table whereas you used to be able to with a bit of parkouring. You still might be able to going across these leaves, but that's where you're going to find some more scabs in the water and some more science points. Also, obviously, the crow sometimes lands there too. There's pretty much still two things that we need to do. We can go to the observation tower, and you still got to explore that secret laboratory up there if you haven't already. If you've done both of them things, well, you can skip this part. We're going to go up here first. It's that one. Be careful this leaf doesn't knock us off. And up we go. Go around. You can see it's flashed up. We'll come back to that in a second. Let's just clear up all this area completely. Follow that through. Be careful not to get hit or stuck on the webs. And there used to be a note from the watcher, but there's nothing here anymore. So they've changed it around. They've taken away the note completely. So maybe this will be a part of the story in the future. But for now, it's definitely not working anymore. So we're going to go down this way a little bit more. If we follow the path back down here. And for the scab, we're going to need to go alongside, I think it's one of these branches here. All the way along it. And this is going to be that science points that we saw when we was first thinking about jumping across, which I told you guys you should just be able to get on. There we go. I'm going to follow the path back up now. You can see there's the observation room with all the goodies in it again. I'm going to go this way this time. Across to this orange leaf here. Can jump ahead on top of the big battery. And we'll take a big leap here. I'm going to follow this big large branch down. Back up. And this is where you get to the observation tower. All the way through. Don't fall, Jade. Climb up. And there we go. We've made it. Now, this has been in the game a long time, just in case this is brand new. But since we're here, I'm doing the whole of the hedge. That's Scab 2.11. So to get to that scab that's popping up, you need to be on top of these. Obviously, I just died trying to get it. This time I'm going to land properly. I'm going to land right on this stick right here. There we go. Follow it all the way around. And there it's sitting just on the edge here. It's pretty hard to find. And that is Fright, probably my favourite brand new scab colour. There's Scab 2.1.11 as well, which is pretty cool. It's got an orangey feel to it too. But Scab is a little bit more pumpkiny and Halloweeny. And it's a brand new day. So that is all of the areas explored up top. I'm going to go ahead and mop up all the rest of these science points now. If I've missed anything, do let me know in the comment section. But I'm pretty sure that is everything you need to know so far. There's a few more little bits and bobs here, but more just spiders and enemies. There's no science points or anything else. Like I said, you can now go in that corridor, and that will take you down to the bird bath as the door is now open. And it's pretty much all it is just the corridor. But we're going to go and explore the rest of them areas that I said we'd go to in a while, as I do believe there is lots more science points. can see it's definitely worth going around. There's lots of debris and stuff. Also, don't forget the cave. You've probably seen it a million times by now, but I have to kind of show you if I'm talking about being a guide for 2.0. Lots of ant heads, lots of ant parts that you can take. But more importantly, the ant totem recipe, and you do get a rotten ant club. And around this corner, you'll find 10 ant heads as well. Now let's go and mop up the rest of these science points. There we go, inside. That's 500, so it's definitely worth coming here. You'll find a few taste teas normally laying around as well. And there's lots more eggs if you want to go and get more of the web fibre. We've got a new location, the fizz can. There's nothing inside other than just some juice drops. There's no science points. There's no science points or anything else like that. So to get to the bird path, like I said, you could do a bit of parkouring and you might just be able to make it over all of that. But it's going to be pretty tough. Instead, you might want to build yourself a little skyway across. Or if you're feeling really parkoury, then do what I'm doing. Just skim me over and then, yeah, just jump over. It does take a while. I did fall over once. I had to come all the way back up here once more. But yeah, it's pretty good. And we are just about doing it. Woo! Oh my god! That scared the bejeebers out of me. Okay, so I had to just kill myself there to get away from the crow. But at least I can now show you where to get the science points and that extra scab. So let's get the science points there. And then underneath it, you should just about see the scab. And that's the hedgeberry one. So there used to be one in this section as well, which was always odds that there were two. So it's now been moved and you'll actually find it in the water down there. Might as well push these over as well to get some easy berries if you need them. Borrow this tuft. And I can show you the other side now of the burb thing to show how hard it is to get. And there are spiderlings here too. Just be careful for these guys. And as you can see, it doesn't work. There's nothing going on at the moment. So I'm guessing it's going to be activated in the next update, or maybe there was just a bit of a bug. Maybe it will be part of the story. They're going to add something to it later on. Once you come back to Burgle, you can go ahead and give him the chip. And you should get 6,000 raw science points. And this is how you can now buy the ziplines, the crow set, which gives you access to 2 crow pictures, and the daredevil perk, which reduces full damage. And that is it. That is everything you need to know about the hedge and the jungle temple. The daredevil only gives you 1 phase though, so it pretty much will reduce your full damage by a massive amount, so you can jump pretty much from almost any height and you should survive. I do think it's the only way that you can also get this perk as well. And now we just got to wait until the next big update. Is it going to be the water content update? I hope so. There's maybe only 1 or 2 little laboratories left that they could possibly make some sort of content out of, but they're pretty small, so I do think we're going to see the water update come very soon. As ever, I'll be there to let you guys know what's going on, show you all the tips and guides you need. Don't forget to like, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you ratbags later.